Let's jump into the three pack. I know this is a little bit of a review we've talked about in the past, but I wanted to double down on it because, I've just, man, we can't hide behind technology. We can't hide behind chat GPT. We can't hide behind all of these things. It's what we always say. It comes down to having real estate conversations with people, comes down with actual interaction. If you're not picking up the phone and making calls on a daily basis, and if you're not going out and meeting people out in public and having real estate conversations with them, I don't know what else to say other than the fact that you're going to really struggle to succeed in this business. And so, one of the things we always preach to our team, every conversation that we have, everything that we do, really revolves around trying to set the appointment. We do not on our team, we try not to. We encourage our team not to carry business cards because if you hand somebody a business card in the hopes that they're going to save it and call you back, you're going to be disappointed. It just doesn't work that way. So we start off, it's a true mindset thing. And what I mean by mindset is every conversation I go into, every phone call that I make, I'm trying to set the appointment. That is my number one goal. When I meet somebody at an open house or having a conversation with an Uber driver or whatever the case is, or meet somebody at a kid's event or whatever the case is, when I start having this real estate conversation with someone, in the back of my mind, I know that the goal is to set an appointment. Appointments lead to conversions. If you can set the appointment, you can meet with somebody, you can have that follow-up conversation, your conversion rate is going to jump exponentially. And obviously, the more appointments you set, the more deals you close.
That's what happens. This is
thanks, Todd.
No,
Todd just circling back on that.
There we go. Just circling back. Now, in this particular case, this is one of those times when you're making a phone call for the purpose. You're calling somebody back that maybe has mentioned to you that they're interested in doing real estate. So they're expecting the realtor to call them. They're expecting when you open your mouth to get realtor conversation coming out of your mouth. These are important things because, the goal is always to create your next conversation. That's the goal,
Yep.
Whether it's telephone, in person, whatever it may be. However, it may not be real estate related in the conversation you're having with people right now. But what I'm trying to make as a point is the objective is still the same. Whether you're having a conversation with them about their, something that they posted on Facebook about something they did or their kids did this weekend, you can always set another opportunity to have another conversation in the future. Gee, that's really great. I'm really excited that she did that. When's her next meet? Oh, wow. Well, that'd be great. If you don't mind, I'd like to call you, maybe next Monday and see how she did. Yeah, that'd be fine. Okay. At least you're making that next appointment. And then hopefully you're sending them something, maybe through the drip, through email. Maybe you're texting it to them. Maybe you're delivering something that's real estate related so they never forget. Or never miss an opportunity to refer potential people to you because you're silent on the fact that you're a realtor.
Yeah, as we go into providing some tips on this, I think the greatest example of this, guys, is really when it comes down to open houses. There's the passive approach, and then I guess for a lack of a better term, there's the aggressive approach. I think a lot of times an agent struggle with open houses, saying open houses aren't effective, they're not working for me. If your strategy at an open house is passive, and meaning that is to simply get somebody to fill out a card and provide open house flyers and provide materials in the hope that they are going to call back and in the hope that they're going to follow back with you.
Yeah.
I think that's really becomes the barrier. Is if I do an open house, my goal is every single person that walks into the open house, it's not a win in my eyes unless I collect personal information and set up a follow-up appointment.
That was really important. Sorry, Nick. That was really important just because of the fact that you identified where you use one of the places in which you use this technique, which in an open house, you got however long that person from the time they walk through that front door till the time they walk out that front door, that's the only time you got to convert them.
Well, I think that's the focus for this for me, and what I'm seeing is the intentionality of what the mindset is. We talk a lot about prospecting, banging phones, doing open houses, knocking doors, but I think what we forget to remind everybody is what the outcome of those conversations should be, especially in the demographic we're talking about. You're prospecting. If you're going into prospecting without a goal on what you're trying to accomplish other than just having someone on the phone, we can bang phones all day and people feel like they had a good time block of prospecting if they spoke to a certain percentage of people. That should not be the goal. The goal should be setting appointments. It shouldn't be how many conversations you have. It should be how many appointments you set. And if you're not going into these situations with that mentality, you're kind of in the middle of an ocean rowing in circles. Like, what is the goal for open houses? If the goal isn't set appointments, why are you setting open houses? The ones that say that they're not successful in open house, it's because you're walking into it just to put some food out and have some flyers. That's not a good open house mentality.
In a galaxy far, far away, I used to play baseball, and I was a pitcher, and my coach would always say, before you throw that next pitch, you have to visualize where that ball is going.
Yep.
It can't be as simply as just I'm hoping to get the ball over the plate,
Exactly.
because if you just get the ball over the plate and that's the only goal, you're going to get hammered.
Yep.
All right. Number 2, focus on a deliverable. So, with that being said in mind, I've got to give people a reason to want to set that appointment with me. So, I'm trying to focus of what product, what value can I bring to the table? What value can I bring to them that would make them want to have an appointment with me? So we always call it, your private investigator's hat on. When you're talking with people, some say 70-30, some say 80-20, some say 90-10. The large number is the percentage of time that client, that prospect should be doing the talking. The smaller number represents how little you should be talking, because if I'm dominating the conversation, I'm not finding the pain point. I'm not finding the problem. I'm not, in my mind, I'm not coming up with that deliverable that I could set that appointment with. So I ask as many questions as possible. And I'm trying to find that one thing that would benefit them, that would make them want to have an appointment with me.
And the thing here is not necessarily to have it with you.
No.
The benefit is you're identifying something that you will provide them at a future time that will cause that to be able to or will reward you with having that next appointment. So maybe they're telling you about something. I really wish that the interest rates were coming down. I know they're kind of volatile or something. Well, you know what? We actually have a podcast that we do every Monday. Would you like me to send you a portion of that as it relates to financing? Yes, I would. Okay, great. Could I have a phone number in which I could text that link to? Or could I have an email? You're getting something that they're saying now they want to have. And as a result, they'll give you that opportunity for that next communication point.
All right, last point is then, of course, set the appointment. Hand them a trick that we always use, again, going back to our strategy of not carrying business cards. Now, do I carry business cards? Yes, because I often walk into a restaurant that has me drop in a business card for free lunch drawings and things like that. And yes,
highest and best return.
I've come across gated communities that I can't get in because I don't have a business card on me. So at least have them in the car or something. But we try not to hand business cards out to clients. What we like to do is when we having a conversation and you get to that point in the conversation that you would normally hand your business card to them, what we do is we open up our phones, open up new contact, and we actually hand the phone to the prospect, let them put in their name and phone number, and then we text right away, because that's how I verify that I got the right phone number. But when you are setting an appointment, do not make it a yes or no question. It's not, Todd, I'd love to sit down with you. Would you and Lynn like to, have a discussion, have a meeting, have this, have that?
No.
Because there you go. You you make it
Ask it a different
so
way.
Yeah.
easy. So you give them options. All right, Todd and Lynn, I'm gonna put together this full seller's report for you. Which time is best for you, today at 4 or tomorrow at 5? Give them the option. It's not foolproof. Doesn't mean that they're not going to say, hey, I'm really, really busy, but try to give them options. They're not yes and no questions. And then whatever deliverable that you have committed to, deliver on the deliverables. And I like to say, an in-person appointment is always the best. It's always the best. But sometimes, with Zoom, and sometimes that appointment's over the phone. As long as you do set up that next appointment, but I try to focus on in person. If I can't do that, then my next go-to is always Zoom.
Absolutely. Zoom, the biggest issue, in my personal opinion, with just the regular telephone or text is that they can't see your facial expressions when you're having conversations. They can't see that you really do care. They can't see maybe the tone doesn't come out right because, they don't see the facial expression that goes along with, whatever it is or however it is that you're saying something. So I think that's really important here. So Zoom or FaceTime, anything that gives you a picture with, and even if they don't want to turn their camera on, if they can see you with yours, it's still a benefit.
Yeah, I mean, the deliver on your deliverables, I think, is super important in that number 3. It's constant nowadays that we're just so busy to do what we said we're going to do, and it's the little things like over communicating. Even if you don't have an update on what the conversation was, no update is an update. How long does it take to fire off a quick text or email that says, hey, just giving you a quick update, haven't heard back yet, wanted to make sure you were on the same page as I was? It takes 15 seconds, and you're staying in communication with those parties that you're working with, and that's the referral that you're going to get because you're always communicating
You
with those
forgot to
individuals.
include circling back.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
They
just
did say
circling back.
just.
Just circling back, and I'll just end with this, and I can't say it never happens. So if this has happened to you, definitely feel free to message in through the messaging portion of the go-to webinar. But I mean, honestly, I can't remember the last time, if ever, somebody called me and said, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I got your open house flyer when I visited this open house of yours 9 months ago, or you gave me your business card 2 years ago, and it's been sitting in my bathroom mirror, waiting for the day,
spotlight on
or
it.
and then today was the day that I just came across $500,000 cash, and so forth. So it might happen, but I can't remember the last time.
Well, but if that's what you're looking for, I have a phrase that I close out every email with, and it says, live life on purpose. And the reality is, if you're going to invest any portion of your time, seconds count, because even listening to the webinar, if you're not getting something from it, I'm sorry. Our goal is that we're giving you pieces that you can implement into your business every day. But back to the point, just be on purpose. If you're going to spend some time, why not spend that same amount of time with a higher probability that you're going to end up doing business? And from my perspective, it's always been that.
And then I'll just end with this, Nick, or either one of you, going back to open houses. If a client walks into an open house, chances are they're either walked into 3 others, or they're going to walk into 3 others. And who is going to have the better chance of conversion? To me, it's the agent that sets that appointment.
It's prepared.
Yeah. The one being intentional about trying to accomplish the goal for the open house, not the one just sitting behind a desk going, yeah, there's water in the kitchen, there's cookies.
All right. So, Nick, what day works better for you to take me out to lunch? Today at noon or tomorrow at 11:30?
I'm just going to follow up with you on that, Mike, next week.
Circle
We'll
back.
circle back.
Circle back.
Yeah.